That series in Houston, that 3-game series, may be, if not, the most crucial, biggest regular season series in Mariners history.
It's right up there, absolutely. Certainly for this generation of Mariner fans, it's the biggest you've seen, certainly since 2001, I would say. I think it'd be tough to beat the 95, the push at the end of the season to catch the Angels, not only get to the playoffs for the Mariners at the time for the very first time in franchise history, but to save baseball in Seattle and get the new ballpark built. They had a couple of series there that were just enormous, but certainly this one, in Houston, coming off that, just all that it means not only for this team at this time, but what it could mean in the future as well. It feels like this is a real changing of the guard. The Houston Astros have had their basically decade of dominance in the AL West. The Mariners, with the core that they've built, with how young they are, with the farm system they have, it feels like they're on their trajectory to take over the AOS, not only for this year, but maybe for the next several.
Now, look, I get it, man. You mentioned 95. There's a whole documentary about that team. So I know it's a fairly large claim to take over that. But I'm talking about, you made a good point, man. The Houston Astros in the last 8 years have won the division, not just gotten to the playoffs, but won the division 7 of the 8. And the only time was in 2020, and I'm not taking anything away from the A's winning in 2020, but all roads lead through Houston. If you want to, get to the playoffs, if you're in the West, and not to mention the fact that winning the West. So, you're going back to it, right? You win that game in Kansas City, and then you got Hunter Brown game 1. Julio gets that first inning home run. I'm looking at this thinking to myself, all right, they win via the long ball. Starting pitching was good. Bullpen was rock solid outside of the home run. And this is why I think it's crucial. Is that the recipe for this team and for any team? Win with home runs, have a really solid bullpen to get deep into the playoffs.
100%, and we were talking about this beforehand as well, but that's part of the reason why I think the Mariners are confident, and Mariner fans should be confident, that this team is maybe better equipped than any team in the American League to make a deep run in October and maybe finally get to the World Series this year. Maybe getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I think that's where they're at, and I think more importantly, that's where the Mariners inside that clubhouse believe that they're at. They're capable of anything right now, and you make a great point. Like, you get 5, even 6 innings, obviously, solid pitching, which they're fully capable of from this rotation. You turn it over to that bullpen, and I think there's a case to be made of the teams from the American League going into the playoffs. The Mariners have as good a bullpen as anyone, maybe the best in the league. Andres Munoz, what he's done this year, I think he's the best closer in the American League. Matt Brash, Gabe Spire, Edward Bazardo hasn't gotten enough headlines this year, but that guy has been rock solid. Those 4 right there, they've got obviously other guys they trust too, but you're going to lean heavily on those guys, and I think they're ready for it, and I think this is their time. I really do, Ryan.